The Liberals did not win a lot of voters with their latest budget. The latest Leger survey shows that half of respondents said they had a negative view of the federal budget, which was presented by the finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, last Tuesday. Only 21% had a positive opinion, while nearly one-third said they didn't know or preferred not to answer. The poll did show broad support for the government's plan to build millions of homes. Joining me now is Scott Reid, CTV's political commentator. Good morning to you, Scott. So let's just first of all crunch these numbers. Are budgets usually something that are more popular and well received by Canadians?
You know, there are occasions where a budget might break through and actually win people's approval. I can remember back 267 years ago when I was working for Paul Martin, and we balanced the budget for the first time in 35 years. That received a breakthrough round of applause from the public. But it's not that typical. I think, you know, let's be honest, though. This is unwelcome news for the government. I mean, they sunk enormous resources and effort into this budget. They sold it in advance in a way that they have not done with previous budgets, in a way they've not done with almost any initiative. 2 weeks of daily news conferences, very much a campaign-style orientation, trying to grab a hold of the camera, seize the microphone, take control of the public conversation. So these are not welcome numbers on the face of it. But you know, there is a silver lining, which is that the measures that were contained within the budget, the priorities that they were talking about for that 2 weeks on TV, do seem to resonate positively with Canadians. So that's the place to go to. They've got to show that these are their priorities, continue to pound away and say these are our priorities, and they are not the priorities of our opponent. Hope to drive that into a choice and plant that idea in Canadians' mind. But, you know, on the face of it, this is, not the kind of drumbeat you were hoping for.
No, and a week later, the capital gains tax is still making headlines, Scott.
Well, in a funny way, I think politically for the government, that may be an opportunity. Because if you look at this polling, what it tells you is that Canadians respond quite positively to the idea of asking the rich to pay a higher share.
But family doctors? Ouch.
Well, you know, you're going to get that kind of lobby. But, you know, the truth of the matter is that, you know, this is an issue where they were trying to lure the opposition into taking a position. And you notice that, you know, you may say, well, family doctors, what about this group? What about that group? If it was such a slam dunk political opportunity, you'd see Pierre Poilievre rushing into the breach. He's not. He steadfastly refused to say if he became prime minister, would he support that measure? Will he maintain it should he become prime minister? And he's dodging that question. He's dodging that question because he doesn't want to look like he's on the side of giving tax breaks to the wealthiest Canadians. And so that's an opportunity for the government as this issue continues to generate news and conflict. They've got the fight they want. They just don't have it with who they want. So they want to stop talking and arguing with doctors and start talking and arguing with Pierre Poilievre. We'll see if they can pull that off. So far, Poilievre has been very skillful politically in avoiding that argument.
So in terms of Canadians' needs met, what did the budget provide for them? And let me add another part to that question, because you and I were talking even before the budget came down that so much of it was already shared. There was little room for a surprise. Was that an effective strategy, do you think, for the Liberals?
I think it was. I think it was an effective strategy. I mean, again, context is everything. This is not a government that's on the verge of balancing the budget and can, as I was mentioning earlier, look forward to, cheers and ticker tape parades from Canadians. What they're trying to do is punch ahead. They're trying to incrementally improve their fortunes. They've been stuck at 24%. For the Liberal Party of Canada, for a Liberal government, that is an unacceptable number. That is going to get beat, going to get rinsed, going to get absolutely shoved out of the way come next election set of numbers. So the point of the budget in the 2 weeks of persistence was to try to associate themselves with a couple of those priorities that at least get some people's heads nodding. If they can get 27% of Canadians saying, well, at least they're focusing on housing, or 30% or 31%, that's an improvement as compared to where they're at now. So I think it was smart to do what they did. I think that the fact that those measures are supported in this polling show you that they're on the right track on doing that. But, you know, the top line numbers really are measuring Canadians' overall reaction to the government. Are they prepared to listen? Are they there for this government? Are they in a mind of re-election? And what those top line numbers, as negative as they are, tell you is that the government is not reversing people's perceptions of them, that the budget didn't do that. Probably unrealistic to hope that it would have, but that's the big wall of ice they've got to melt between now and the next election, because Canadians do seem to be fairly set in their ways with respect to a negative opinion toward the government.
Scott Reid, he is our CTV News political commentator. Scott, thank you so much.
Thanks, Marcy. Have a great day.